Hello and welcome to the Weird Around Illinois podcast. Today's short topic is the idea that you can bring something into reality merely by believing in it. And in our case, we're talking specifically about cryptids, but it could apply to other things as well. The place this discussion is coming from is there are several cryptids that never really existed in history. Some people even say dogman is one of them that only started popping up in recent history, although some could argue that werewolf sightings go back hundreds of years. But more recently, when you look at things like Slender Man or the Rake or a couple other things that have popped up since the internet, a lot of people are saying, okay, well, this is an internet invention, this doesn't exist. But there are people, credible people, who are saying, I saw this. And some people even have videos and evidence.
I feel like some of these might just be really faked, but at the same time, how did they really get the strong belief to believe in all that?
Right.
If they find it on the internet and then find it in real life, I don't even know where to begin to explain how that works.
I'll go way off track here, and I'll tell you that in the 70s and 80s, the concept of visualization was huge. There were books like Think and Grow Rich and other self-help books and get-rich-quick books that basically told you if you can imagine being a millionaire, you can make it happen. If you can believe that you're going to be successful, you're going to be successful. And I feel like this is like the next step of that. Like if you believe something hard enough, it could actually manifest itself as physical reality.
Yeah, maybe the reason why we're not finding these kind of cryptids is because we're not believing hard enough. As cheesy as it sounds.
Well, based on some of our comments, I mean, there are people who feel that way.
Yeah. We always say that we have to keep an open mind. I think that also kind of explains that we're kind of questioning just a little bit that they exist.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the idea of this is to eliminate that, and then that's how these things will come to reality.
But then, the question becomes, if you go all in, if you decide, I believe in Dogman, and then you go looking for Dogman and you see him, does that mean that belief brought him into existence, or does it mean that you believed so strongly that you just convinced your mind he was there when he was not?
It's possible that could have just been daydreaming. That's a possibility. We'd have to find out ourselves to see.
If an unbeliever can't see, then how do you ever prove that? Unless, well, I guess it would prove it if you had one person with you who didn't believe and one who did, and the believer was able to believe this thing into existence so securely that the non-believer saw it.
It'd have to be some strong belief. I don't know how that would work, but
I often hear stories of people going with their friends, seeing let's say Dogman, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have their friend that believes Dogman exists, and the other one will be like, it doesn't exist. And then somehow they eventually encounter it.
in the end, they're all traumatized.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the problem then. Maybe the three of us are on the fence too much, and maybe we need to find a true believer to go out with us. Somebody who's seen Dogman 12 times, or somebody who's seen Bigfoot or Mothman, and just go out there with them and see if their belief is strong enough to bring it into existence for us. You look at religion, and everyone has such strong religious beliefs, and there are people that argue that the way you can have 17 different versions of God and 10 different versions of heaven and hell, it's because all these people believe and manifest these things into existence the way they want them and believe them to be.
could be the best explanation I've ever heard.
And you don't want to tell anybody that religion is wrong.
Yeah.
It seems that nobody really knows that for sure until the end. People are just so sure of what they saw, whether it's Bigfoot or Dogman or Mothman or whatever. And maybe the reason they saw it is because they believed it. With that in mind, I think we need to look seriously at some of these other cryptids, like the Wendigo, the Skinwalker, the Rake, the Slender Man. These things that, other people might rule out and say, well, that's a myth, that's a legend, that's made up by the internet, that's made up by a Native American tribe, whatever. And approach them the same way we approach every other cryptid, from the idea that maybe, just maybe, they exist, or if they don't exist, maybe they can exist if people believe in them strongly enough. So, thank you all for listening, and thank you for subscribing, and we hope to talk to you again soon.